Hello and welcome to France 24's weekly music show with me, Marjorie Hache. Coming up today.
Make me the one to blame. Yes.
French electronic artist Agoria is with me in the studio to discuss his new feel-good summer single. He also recently exhibited at Paris's prestigious Musée and is no stranger to playing with artificial intelligence.
On these roads in Nirvana. On these roads.
Also in today's show, we'll be taking a look at the work of Nigerian film director turned musician Godwin, whose blend of gospel, R&B and Afrobeat has garnered a huge following on TikTok. Sébastien Devaud, aka Agoria, thank you for being with us on Arts 24.
Thanks for having me. It's my pleasure. What a voice!
It's incredible.
What if I didn't know? What a voice!
Oh, well, we're going to delve into his world in a few seconds. Just after talking about yours, because you've got quite an incredible career. It started off over 2 decades ago. You started off more as a DJ producer, and now you've kind of branched out into multiple disciplines and digital art in particular. And well, your background, your family heritage, is like architecture, singing, music. How much did this multidisciplinarian sort of way of being come from them?
Yeah, I guess to be surrounded, like, I grew up in the house was like the Barbapapa house. I don't know if you know the cartoon Barbapapa. It's like only Berbers.
Yeah.
And so I was not in a roof like this, like with it was all circle, all very different atmosphere. So I guess be in this kind of area for 15 years, from 10 to 22, because I think my parents put me out of the house when I was 22. Say, no, your music, at that time, electronic music was not very well established and recognized. And I was many times at the police office.
Oh, really?
Because I was playing in after parties. So my parents say, no, go out of the house. And when you will be a good boy, you will come back. But I think I've been surrounded by so many different art. Like my father was a painter, my mom was opera singer. So for sure, I was it's in my blood, yeah.
Yeah, so like the Barbapapa, definitely not in a square household. Now you've got a really cool new music video that's just come out that was directed by Yvan Bikoski, and it's entirely AI generated. Can you tell us how that works? What kind of information did you put into the software to come up with this story?
So I think, if you don't mind, I would like just maybe to define a bit what is AI, because AI nowadays is a bit everything. In my opinion, it's not many people think it's just one-click AI thing. You do one click and you have the track or you have the art. And for some, maybe it can happen like this. For some who try to clown a bit. But for real artists, I mean, it's just a tool to filter our imagination and to do things that are more elaborated and I guess more authentic, So I did my first AI work with my friend Johan Leske when we sent a sound into space. It was 8 years ago. And through the NASA, we sent a sound into the space. More recently, I did an exhibition in Orsay where I was actually trying to merge the living and the code together, because people forget maybe sometimes that human beings, we are a code first. The DNA is CGAT. It's first a code before to be something else. So I like to mix all this. So this video, I feel good. The idea was to make it a bit poetic in a way, and also to make it in a sensorial way.
Well, how about we go and check out the video, which is, though, not 16 seconds, but a whole song. Fantastic new video there for I Feel Good, Agoria's new track, all AI generated. I liked how you humanized AI as well by talking about our DNA codes being linked into it. You've said before that our humanity can be defined by our ability to establish links, even with what lies beyond our immediate understanding. Does that apply to AI, but to other things perhaps as well?
Oh yeah, I guess like people are very often afraid of what's coming, of the new trend or of new technologies. I experienced this with electronic music, where people were thinking it was just a trend, it will last for 2 or 3 years. Since that electronic music is still here and it's used by any artist in the world today to record music. And I think it will be exactly the same with AI. And in the future with other kind of tools. I think AI is just like the tools of nowadays, even from the past. I mean, it's used for any social networks for the 12 last years to just decide what you're gonna get the ability or the choice or not to see or to get attracted by. And I guess like for the future, I like to provocate a bit people, saying we will be more with UI, like unknown intelligence.
Okay.
And I'm really into this, like let's also be driven by not the fact of being afraid and scared of things, but just because, of course, there are reasons to be scared of that. I'm not saying there are not reasons. There are a lot of reasons. But as artists, if we take the lead on it, we can then maybe lead it to something more positive. And I think artists should definitely take the lead of that to rebalance it correctly.
And interesting, like people have said that maybe, you know, governments should maybe regulate or put in rules for the use of AI, and they've been a bit slow at doing that. Do you agree with that idea? The way it's managed, you know? Of
course, it's a problem if like China or just like 3 or 4 companies in the West Coast could decide what AI will drive us all. It's a problem for our liberty, for our choices. So there's definitely something that we should fight. But as artists, we should take also these algorithmic tools or new possibilities to question it and to drive us to something different.
Oh, interesting. Well, as I was telling you earlier, we have 24-year-old Nigerian artist Godwin, who also plays around with many forms of media, and he's recently released a soul-soothing EP entitled Road to Nirvana. Francois caught up with him to find out more.
Hi, my name is Godwin. I'm a musical artist. I have just come out with my new EP, Road to Nirvana, and I'm talking to France 24.
Road to Nirvana. On this road to love.
Nirvana to me is firstly heaven. I was brought up in a religious home, and so the first explanation of a place without pain, without grief, without sadness, what comes to mind is heaven. But I really was in a deep search for something else that could poetically represent that. So I called it Road to Nirvana. Ile, this is a song I wrote in deep, deep grief. And it's a song about my mom passing away.
Please come back home. Everybody screaming, my heart is losing feeling.
My creative process of putting the EP together was quite a chaotic one, because at that same point I was making a film with my brothers. We have a collective, it's called The Critics, and this was a film that was a big deal to us because we were going to be collaborating with Morgan Freeman's production company. The message behind Proud of You is a very wide one. Dyslexia is it's not even a known topic to start with, especially in the education system in Nigeria, where I come from. So I really wanted to focus on the fact that even though you're not a champion with education like most kids tend to enjoy and find, you know, their nirvana, their personal space in other activities.
So I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you.
You know, at the end of the day, I think what matters the most is making good music. It's a good time to be alive and a good time to be African.
I'm not gonna stop till I get to Nirvana.
Godwin, whose voice seems to have touched a few chords with you, Agoria. Could you imagine yourself collaborating with him, potentially? Would he be a voice you'd want to use in your music or your art?
I'd love it.
Yeah, no, that'd be really
If
cool.
he watches, please, let's be in touch.
That'd be really cool. We were talking about the MuséeD'Orsay briefly. That must have been quite an experience. Would you like to renew that? And if you could, which museum in the world would you love to infiltrate?
So if I'm very sincere, the Orsay Museum is my favorite museum in the world. Not because I'm French or I live in Paris. It's just like architecture, the art that is displayed is incredible. And it's really the museum of modernity. So for me, like being invited to do an exhibition in Modernity Museum was just a gift. I love Guggenheim, Bilbao. I love the MoMA in New York. There are many museums that are incredible. So let's see what's happened.
Yeah, and while we wait for your next album, we can catch you on tour. You're going to be playing in Spain and Portugal and France this month, but I'm afraid that's all we've got time for on the Arts 24 show today. Thank you so much, Agoria, for coming with us along this little adventure. We're going to be playing out with something fantastic. I assume you know the British trip-hop band Portishead.
I love it, of course.
Yeah, well, their singer Beth Gibbons is back with a beautiful new album called Lives Outgrown, which comes out on May 17th. She wrote it after losing a number of people close to her, a powerful way to emerge from grief. Here's the track, Floating on a Moment.